Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about Jungkook being exposed by a fellow fan. We get to talk about what the fan's experience was meeting Jungkook while peeing. That's a new one. I thought it was a very fun and interesting story, of course, so I thought I would sit here and share it with you guys. We're gonna get into it, we're gonna talk about it. We also have RM being falsely accused of by a celebrity, sort of falsely accused. Mainly a misunderstanding, I think. But I definitely understand the mix-up, so let's spill the tea on this. If you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so be notified anytime a new video drops. If you use a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's jump into it. Now I want to clarify something really quick. Now the tea that I spill on this video is already tea that is out there. It's not tea that I've generated myself. It's usually tea that's been given to me or tea that's been reported by other people. I'm just here to give my commentary and give my thoughts and share a little kiki with you guys. That's what this is about, okay? So today is a fun and interesting kiki, a fun and interesting tea time. So get your tea, bring it together, sit around and let's talk. Now some of you might already know this part, some of you might not. So let's get some context, let's get into it and talk about it. And I can give you my opinions on this. A little bit ago, there was a YouTube named Yan. He's a Korean YouTuber, and I think he does vlogs, documents his life, news stories, and kind of that sort of thing. His videos are in Korean, so I can't understand too much of like what the titles are said, and I haven't sat there and watched all his videos. He maybe has like one or two videos that are in English, and like that's it. So I don't necessarily know what all his other videos are about, but just from kind of like the thumbnail and the overall vibe, it seems like it's news stories, vlogs, that sort of thing. He also seems to talk about BTS quite a bit too, which is very good. We stan. I'm sure it's great things, but basically Young brought up the story of how he met Jungkook of BTS while peeing, while having a little peeing adventure. Basically, Young was at a restaurant, he was kind of drinking, having fun, you know, with his friends and all that sort of thing. I'm assuming it wasn't a particularly really nice restaurant. It wasn't like a fancy 5-star type of restaurant. It was just kind of one of those like dingy hole in the walls that they have in Korea, which are the best type of restaurants in Korea, by the way. Definitely a place that you wouldn't expect like celebrities to be there or any type of like high profile person, because it's really kind of run down, old, and more like olden days, you know? You just don't expect like freaking Beyonce to stroll up in one of these kind of dingy places. Although she should, because they probably have better food than the 5-star restaurants. Just saying. And usually like nice restaurants have nice restaurants around them. They're usually in the city. Obviously, if you have a dingy restaurant, all the restaurants around them are going to be dingy as well. So we can definitely assume that the area that Young was in was definitely more of a kind of older place. Personally, as I said, I prefer the dingy ones. The food just tastes more homemade. It's just better. I ain't no fancy restaurant type of person, okay? They be having like 50 forks. You're gonna sit me down with 50 forks, I'm gonna be like, sir, you gave me way too many forks. However, Yun has 900,000 subscribers, so I would consider him kind of celebrity, I think. He's there, so maybe this is a place that celebrities go to. I don't know, it's just my thoughts. But he was there with his friends, and after drinking and all that stuff, he decided he needed to take a pee. Now, this particular restaurant definitely has to be a really dingy one because they obviously did not have a bathroom. I don't know about Korean law, but in American law, if you have more than, I believe, like 10 seating areas, you have to have a bathroom. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is 10. So we're talking like a really small place that they wouldn't actually have to legally have a bathroom. I doubt a fancy restaurant wouldn't have a bathroom. But Yan did feel like he actually did have to go to the bathroom, so of course he went out to go look for a bathroom. As in these places, you either go pee in an alleyway or you freaking go find a bathroom in another restaurant. I'm glad he didn't just pee in an alleyway, you know what I mean? Because for me to pee in an alleyway, you have to pay me like $1 million. What if a cat sees my pee-pee and laughs? What if a raccoon sees my pee-pee and then go tells his family? I ain't taking that embarrassment for less than $1 million. I don't need the animal kingdom to know about my penis. I don't even want to know about my penis. But apparently when Jungkook noticed that this man wanted to pee, Jungkook said, this is moment. This is opportunity to go introduce himself. I'm kidding. Jungkook introduced himself after Young finished peeing. But of course, it's very refreshing and very humbling to hear that Jungkook's even in this type of local area. And it's very humbling to know that he's not just like that type of person that's like, oh, I want to eat Nobu, and that's it. Like he doesn't eat fancy restaurants all the time. He's okay with getting kind of like dirty street food. The ones where they like wipe their sweat off and then wipe the pan and then cook, because that's where all the flavor comes from. But when Jungkook introduced himself to Young, Young actually didn't recognize him right away. Young thought it was like a schoolboy coming up to him to say hi and wanting to take a picture. But then when he realized it was Jungkook, he freaked out, as you do. Young expressed how eloquently Jungkook speaks and how carefully he is with his words. And he talks about how kind Jungkook was over and over again. All the nice things that you want to hear, all the nice things that you come to expect from hearing the name of Jungkook. You know, Jungkook doesn't like to be called a sweet little bunny, but then he exposes himself by being a sweet little bunny. Be mean to people and we we won't call you a sweet little bunny. It's also nice to know that BTS and Jungkook like to watch videos about themselves sometimes, because Young actually does talk about BTS sometimes. Or the fact that they watch YouTube in general. Like that they make time or opportunity to sit there and connect with other YouTubers. I mean, you know you don't have to do that, right? Like you can literally not acknowledge us peasants' existence and we will still bow down to you, right? But Young basically exposed Jungkook. One, that Jungkook is very, very humble. For being in a place like that, I'm making it sound like he was in a place that he could have gotten murdered by, and that's just not true. But Jungkook doesn't have to be anywhere near anything like that. He can literally be in a 5-star resort all the time. He doesn't have to be near restaurants that don't have bathrooms. So the fact that he was really shows how humble he is, how he's really tied down to his roots, because this is a very big part of Korean culture, which is street food. And he's very much open to embracing that. I mean, this is probably what he had when he was a kid. This is probably what his parents eat and his family enjoys. And little dingy places like this have the best food in Korea. And I'm glad he doesn't feel like, oh, that's too gross for me. I'm famous. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope you get what I'm saying. It also goes to show how Jungkook is, because even he fangirls over YouTubers. He doesn't have to give Young even the time of day because he's freaking Jungkook. And like, why would Jungkook care that a YouTuber was there? But Jungkook did care, and he approached Young to have a conversation with him. I'm always baffled because as famous as BTS is, it seems like one, they don't realize they're famous and they still act normal, and they act so kind and humble, and literally no one would blame them if they didn't act kind and humble. But I definitely wanted to see what some people's reactions were, and some people were talking about this. So I actually did go on Twitter to check out what the Twitter sphere was tweeting. One army wrote, so I was watching the video yesterday of Young, the YouTuber that met Jungkook, and he was saying he has an aura. I felt he is totally different kind who behind a person like me. He is very humble and considerate. It's true that he has a rare aura. Ooh, Jungkook has an aura. Aura me daddy. I wonder what kind of aura we all give. We all definitely give off an aura, but I imagine like meeting BTS and their general aura, it's like completely different. I imagine Jungkook has a really like kind of sweet scent. Like he has naturally smells really sweet. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm sure this army was just as delighted and happy to hear that Jungkook is very kind and humble and has said nice aura. It's always refreshing to hear that the person you look up to is just as nice as you would probably imagine. I really hope BTS kind of changes the whole culture of never meet your idols. That was like a saying that came up when people would meet their favorite idols, whether that was like a football player or whoever, and then they would realize that, oh, that person's not as nice as they actually are or appear to be in media, that a lot of these like famous people tend to cheat or scam their way to the top. Of course, when you find out about that, it's not amazing. So your vision of that celebrity kind of ends up being destroyed. But I think BTS is going to change that, because they're a very prime example of if you work hard and you're good at what you do, you can be successful and you can still be kind and be successful. So that you can choose to be kind, you can choose not to screw other people over, and then still be at the top of your game. I think it's a great story, and I thank Young for sharing it. I really do appreciate it. It is very, very lovely. I will now, of course, go ahead and subscribe and choose to stand. Jungkook is great, and we have many stories proving this. I also imagine Jungkook doesn't get into fights very often. He's very kind, he's very bubbly, but some of the other members do get into fights quite often. RM is someone who gets into arguments every now and then, little fun, cute arguments. There was apparently some false accusations with RM and a celebrity. The celebrity, drumroll please, being Jimin. Jimin is also the type of person who gets into arguments quite a lot in BTS too. Again, cute and adorable and fun ones. We have the dumpling incident. So what did Jimin say to RM? What did Jimin accuse RM of? Jimin apparently accused RM of wearing his underwear. I assume this was a little while ago, as they had an interview and had discussed this quite some time ago. But also I feel like just because now they can definitely afford different pairs of underwear and wear something completely different from when they were back then. But the news source that I saw this from did not specify when this actually happened. But I wanted to share this story with you and give my thoughts because I thought it was a very funny one. But it seems more like a misunderstanding, sort of. We'll get into it. All the boys back then, of course, bought underwear for their travels. A lot of them do buy underwear from convenience stores because it's easier for them, and for them it's comfortable, it's cheap, it's whatever. Jimin still to this day currently loves convenience store underwear. I've worn both high-end and cheap underwear. I don't feel the difference. Maybe I haven't worn a good enough pair of high-end underwear to tell the difference. To me, it feels the same. But apparently Jimin and RM both bought the same pair of underwear, like the same color, the same brand, that sort of thing. In order to tell the difference, because they do kind of communal laundry where they all just kind of put their laundry in a basket and wash it. So in order to separate them and make sure you know that, okay, that's my underwear and that's your underwear, Jimin put his initials on it and RM put his initials on it. I'm assuming through normal washing and kind of normal wear and tear, the initials started to kind of rub off. This is why you use fabric paint. As you imagine, RM and JM are going to kind of look very similar, and when the letters start to rub off, they'll start to look like each other's underwear. RM apparently made this mistake many times and mistaken JM for RM. But why would RM write RM on his underwear? Why not NJ? Because you're not going to confuse that, I think. NJ for Namjoon, of course. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon. If you would like to kind of go over there and kind of contribute back to this channel and kind of help out, please make sure you check out my Patreon. Anything you kind of contribute over there really does help me kind of keep going. So thank you so much for doing that. You can also get exclusive content over there, such as music video reactions, live performance reactions, ship reactions, all that stuff on my Patreon. And you can also request things. I'll leave a link in the top of the description down below so you can check it out. There's also 2 videos that will pop up on the end of the screen on this video. So make sure you click on one of those videos and I'll see you over there. Bye.